talk about becoming a filmmaker, but not necessarily in the film industry, doing a profession that's outside of the film industry. How do you think that's helped?
Well, when I got out,
impulses?
yeah, when I got out of film school, I immediately began dabbling with work that was technical, sound editing, film editing, and immediately, within a few months, I just was not happy there. I could make a lot of money. I could do a lot of editing work and stuff I was good at, but I knew that I would be there doing long hours, and I would not have stories to tell. I wouldn't have I would have the equipment, but I wouldn't have the passion to do. I was working on someone else's passion and not my own. And I just remember thinking I'd rather drive a cab or wash dishes than to work, at Sound One or something, which is I think going down now. But, everyone should make their own choices, but I just, and I was doing volunteer work. I had a friend who I went to school with, passed away. I started doing volunteer work in a psychiatric hospital, and then before you know it, I got hired, and it was just, I thought it was ridiculous. I couldn't believe it, and then I was like, wow, I like doing this, I'm good at it. I can make a living doing this and make movies at home, and I'm very glad I made that decision. And that's what I do, I make everything at home, and I focus more on film festivals or screenings of getting my work out there, rather than making a lot of money and making some kind of big production. Even though I do have a feature film I'm working on, I just took a break from it to do this Girl Stories trilogy. You guys are good, man. Chill.
Folks are so confident, among everything else. They're just so, when you put a camera someplace, you put a sound, so when you come up with the ideas for things, do they come right out, just like the way they are?
That's a great question, because part of me coming here today, I remember focusing, that's why I made that pamphlet. I said to myself, for the students in film school, I went here, I want to be able to try to get my process across for questions or for people to understand. So two things. One, and that's why I chose to show nice people, even though it's not finished. So I don't know, it seems like the film's going to end like that. It looks like, but things change every day. It changes all the time. I don't know. Nice people, and I'm sorry, I'm bad, but I just want to tell you about nice people. I was outside in front of Burger King by my house, and I was in front of an express store that was closed, and there was these three teens, and they looked like nice people. And I was like, wow, nice people. And I called my cell phone in the man's machine. I said, nice people. And I was like, that's where it started. And I didn't know what nice people was, but now I know. At this point, the nice people are the nice people project, her parents. This is like, they're nice people, and they didn't mean to create this kind of damage to their daughter Kathleen. But you know what? They did. And she has to live with this problem she has. And of course, part of it is her own problem, but a lot of it has to do with the pressures her parents put on her to be a dancer at a young age.
Are you going to turn to comedy anytime soon?
Yeah, and I think I did comedy earlier. I do want to go back to comedy. I think I'm gradually, there's little moments like the beginning with the funky song, but then once you see the scar leg, then it's like, ugh. But I'm getting back funny again. And the speaker thing is. Say it again.
You said back when the movies are.
Well, I've done Girl Jacker. The first movie I ever made was I Loving Me. I Fall in Love with Myself in a Mirror. It's like a narcissist story, very funny. Yeah. My feature film, I was on People's Court. Some of you guys saw that. I'm with a dead dog. That's very funny. I'm gonna be back. That's very funny. I think And and a lot of the worst movies here, like even 3:30, like the scariest, they're hilarious. Like when really that whole movie started, I'm going to the Palisades Mall, and this car was on fire, and I taped it. I was like, I gotta use this in a movie. It was so inspiring. The car on fire. I was like, I know someone's gonna blow this car up. And if you listen really good, you can hear the lady came up to me. She's like, are you gonna use this? You should really sell it to the news. If I was in that car, I could have died, And I was like, anyway, just kept building upon that one shot of the car on fire. And the first thing I ever did with that movie was the last shot of the movie. Yeah. So in a lot of sense, that movie's a comedy for me. And And then, but people see this and believe it, and I get reamed for it, and you know, and that's why I'm going to keep going into funnier stuff, because I'm very sick and tired of getting attacked. My character gets viciously attacked, and people just don't get the joke, you know. So, true.
This, your style or aesthetic that you have, I mean, it's just riveting to me. But you, sorry, the manipulation, the soundtrack, the you're working so hard to create this, you know, fragmented, fractured form of storytelling. Is that something you've always done? Did it start with work you did here, or how did that come about?
The storytelling or the visuals, like
Well, the sound and visuals, so
that. I'll try.
fractured, but at the same time utterly consistent.
I'll try my best to answer that. I think because I started in music and then I went into film, and I think a lot of, you know, when I left music, I think a lot of that stayed with me. Producing and composing music in a song, and I think it worked really well for editing, like, you know, and I love sound, and I prefer recording sounds than music, and I take those sounds and manipulate them, and I guess basically I spend so much time isolating the editing of sound and isolating the editing of picture that it creates this, I guess, this style I have that I can't get away from, and I try. You know, I swear I tried, and that's probably another reason why I'm proud of. I say I'm proud of the first one because it seems like the one that's the most that pushes away from that. But if you pay attention, then I go in for the close-up of his messed up legs and stuff. So it's still there, but I guess it's my style, and I can't get away from it as much as I try. In Girl Stories, I really tried hard with Missing Green and Nice People, I swear, to do like very nice stories, and then they end up being like what you're seeing them being, you know, which I think works, you know, for the after-school special teen moral stories.